Okay, y'all, so for this folio, what you're going to need a piece that is 7 by 8.5. Alright, you're not going to put any score marks at all on this. This is just a plain 7 by 8.5. Alright, then you're going to take 2 pieces that are 7 by 8.5. Alright, you're going to need 2 of those. On your 7-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 and at 3/4. Okay? So you're going to need 2 of those. Alright, we're going to fold down and burnish on each of our score lines here. Alright, so I'm going to do that to both of them. And sometimes it's easier if you score the score line that is not at the edge. Okay, so now this is what we have. Alright, so we have 2 of these. Alright, now you're going to take 2 pieces that are 7 by 8.5. Again, you're going to need 2 of them. On your 8.5-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 and at 1. Okay, so you're going to do that to both of them. So let's fold down and burnish. Okay. Alright, so now this is what you're going to have. Alright, 2 pieces that look like this. Okay, now to put this together, you're going to take your piece that is 7 by 8.5 with no score marks on it. Okay, we're going to take the ones that we just scored. The 8.5-inch, we scored at 1/2 and 1. We're going to place one on top and one on bottom. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue, and I'm using art glitter glue with the fine metal tip. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place glue right here on this 1/2-inch side. Okay, don't place it on this 1/2 inch. You want to place it on the end piece here, the little end 1/2-inch piece. Okay, so you just want to add your glue. Okay, now I'm going to go up here to the top. Alright, I'm going to place that glue right here on this side. Alright, so I'm just going to lay this out. And I'm going to take my time here. Alright. And y'all, it may be easier if you just do it this way. Just lay down your piece and then place your your large piece on the top here, and I'll show you. Alright, so now this is what we have. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to open that up. I'm going to take my glue, add it to this little 1/2-inch piece here. Don't go over those score lines. Okay, now I'm going to lay this down because it's going to be easier this way. Well, yep. Alright, and then I'm going to place this right on top. Don't go over those score lines. Okay. Now, this is what you have. Okay, and I have the pieces that I glued down. Alright, they're on the inside of this piece. Okay, so the outside of it's going to be nice and clean. Alright, now I'm going to open this up. The other 2 pieces that I had, the 7 by 8.5 with the score marks at 1/2 and 3/4, I'm going to place one on each side. One on the left, one on the right. Alright, so I'm going to do it the same way. And I'm just moving mine around, y'all, so I can glue on it. Okay? So I can glue on it. So I can make it easier for me whenever I have to add these glued pieces here. Alright, so this piece I'm just going to take, and again I'm just going to lay it down, y'all, and I'm just going to flip this over. Okay, now you want to make sure that you place it on the inside of these. Okay, so again, make sure you don't go over those score lines. Alright, and take your time, y'all. Okay, when you have it where you want it, burnish it down. Okay? See, now this one's on the inside as well. Now I'm going to do the last one with the score marks at 1/2 and 3/4. Okay, I'm just going to take my glue, add it to this little 1/2 inch piece here. And again, y'all, don't go over that score line. Okay. I'm just going to turn this over so I can just glue it on here. Alright, when you have it where you want it, burnish it down. Okay, so now this is what we have. Alright, we have 2 flaps that flip in, one flips up, one flips down. Alright, so this is our little folio shell here. Okay, and you see here I didn't go all the way in on my score mark there, so that's going to hang out just a tiny bit, but that doesn't bother me at all. Alright, so it's going to do the same thing on that side, but you see here, that's okay, no big deal. All you need to do is make sure that you go in a little more. See here how I didn't go all the way in? So remember, if you do yours, make sure you go in some more with your, wow, sorry about the not focusing there. Alright, so I'm going to open this up. Okay, now I'm going to take, and we're going to the right hand side here. Alright, so I'm just going to flip this up so I can work on this right hand side here. Alright, I need to add a piece of design paper here. Alright, so right hand side, add design paper. Alright, I'm going to cut mine and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have my design paper on, now what you're going to do is you're going to cut 2 pieces that are 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Alright, you're just going to score 1/2 on 3 sides. Okay, now we're going to fold down and burnish. Oh, we're going to cut off these little squares here at the bottom. I've already done it to that one, but see these little squares here? We're just going to cut these off. Alright, so now this is what you have. Okay, so now we're going to fold down and burnish all 3 score lines. Alright, we're going to do that to both of them. Okay, now I like to tack down my little corners here, so if you want to, you just add a little glue here. Tack this down. Okay. And if you have little tails hanging off the edge here, you can cut those off. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and tack this one down as well. Alright, so now we have both of our little pockets done here. So now I'm going to take and dry fit them first. Alright, I don't want to just glue them down yet because I need to make sure my spacing is right. Okay, so I'm going to have about this much spacing in between each one here. Alright, can you see that there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go about 1/2 inch over, and then I'm going to just eyeball and make sure I have about the same amount of spacing here in between each one here. Alright, so I'm going to leave one down, lift one up, take and add my glue, and if you want to, y'all, if you have a decorative punch, you can punch out your edges, or a corner chomper, or you can use a die, or whatever you have. Alright, so now I'm just going to take it and I'm going to hold this one down. I'm going to take this one and just place it on, making sure now that I have about the same amount of space. Okay, now I'm just going to press that down and burnish. Okay, I'm going to do this adding of the glue on these little 1/2 inch pieces here. Okay, now I'm just going to add this one on. Alright, and I can't get over top of mine, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to have the same amount of spacing. Looks good to me though. I'm just going to burnish that down. Alright, so there we go. Now we have our two little pockets on our first little flap here. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the left hand side here. Alright, and now what you want are two flaps that are 4 by 8.5. Alright, you need two of those. On your 4-inch side, you're going to score it a half. Okay, you're going to do that to both of them. Okay, now you're going to fold down and burnish each of your little pages here, each of your little flaps. Okay, and again, if you want to use a rounder or a corner chomper or a die, a punch, whatever, you go right ahead. Okay, now I'm going to make sure I get these right here. Alright, I'm going to add one to the left hand side. I'm going all the way to the left, and it's going to match up at the top and the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to take my glue. I'm just going all the way to the left hand side here. All the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to lay it down and make sure it's lined up. Then I'm going to press it down. Okay, so when you have it where you want it, burnish it down, open it up, burnish it down. Okay, now I'm going to take my next little piece here and I'm going to go to the right hand side. Alright, when you go to the right hand side, y'all, make sure you don't go over that score line right there. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue, add it onto this little 1/2-inch piece. Okay, and again, I'm not going all the way to this score mark. I'm trying to lay these down here so they're not in my way. So I'm just going to go just a tiny bit beside that score line. Alright. When you have everything where you want it, press it down. Alright, open it up, press it down. So now that gives us our two flaps on the left hand side. Okay, so now we need to work on the top and the bottom inside flaps here. Alright, so I'm just going to close these up so I can get them out of my way here. And I'm going to work on the bottom flap here. Okay, so for the bottom flap, you're going to need a piece that is 5.5 by 7. On your 5.5-inch side, you're going to score it a half. Alright, fold down, burnish. Okay, now I'm going to take and add my glue to this 1/2-inch piece. Okay, and I'm going to go here to the top of this bottom flap. Okay, so again, make sure you do not go over that score line. I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see it. Alright, I'm going to go just a hair under that score line, making sure I have my sides lined up. Alright, press and burnish. Open it up, burnish it down. Alright, now I'm going to flip that open. I'm going to add a pocket here. Alright, so that pocket is going to be 4 by 8. On your 8-inch side, you're going to score it a half, rotate, score it a half, rotate, score it a half. Alright, let's cut off these little squares here at the bottom. Okay, when you have those cut off, we're going to take and fold and burnish each of our score lines. Okay, when you have those folded and burnished, see how I have this little tail here? I'm going to just cut it off. See that little teeny piece there? See, just cut it off. This side right here has just a teeny tiny little tail. Alright, I'm going to tack down my corners. Okay. Now, I'm going to add it right here to the bottom. So I'm going to add my glue to these little 1/2-inch pieces. Okay. Now I'm going all the way to the bottom, and it's going to line up right. I'm going to line it up right at the bottom, and both of my sides are going to be edge to edge. Okay. So So now I'm just going to press and burnish. Okay. So now we have our pocket and our little flap. Alright, and I am going to be adding magnets to these, but I'll show the magnets in just a few minutes here. Okay, so that's all for the bottom. I'm going to close it up. Now I'm going to work on the top here. Alright, so for the top, we're going to have a flap and a pocket. Alright, so I'm just going to take 7 by 7 1/4. On your 7 1/4 inch side, you're going to score it a half. Alright, we're going to fold and burnish. Okay. Now I'm going to take it, add my glue to this little 1/2 inch piece here. Alright, and I'm going to take it, place it here at the top. Okay, I'm going all the way to the top. I'm trying to see here, I can't really, I'm going to turn it sideways, y'all, so I can see it. Alright, I'm going all the way to the top. Making sure that everything is lined up. Okay, when you have it where you want it, burnish it down. Okay, open it up, burnish it down. Now, I'm going to add a pocket here. And for this pocket, it's going to be 4 by 8. On your 8 inch side, you're going to score it a half, rotate, score it a half, rotate, score it a half. Alright, we're going to cut off these little corners here. Okay, when you have your corners cut off, we're going to fold and burnish each of our little score lines. Okay, so again, I have just a little small tail here. I'm just going to cut that off. I'm going to tack down my little corners here. Okay, now I'm going to add my glue to these 1/2 inch pieces. Okay. I'm going to place this pocket, and again, I'm going right here to this score line, but I'm going to go up just a little bit, so I'm not going all the way on that score line. Alright, when you have it where you want it, make sure it's lined up on the sides, and then you press and burnish. Okay. Alright, so that is the inside of our folio. Okay, so now this is what we have. We're going to flip it up. You're going to have a flap here. You're going to have a pocket here. Alright, you're going to flip it down. You're going to have a flap and a pocket. Okay, you're going to flip it to the right. You're going to have 2 little pockets here. Flip it to the left, 2 little flaps here. Okay, this center piece here, I'm not going to add any pockets or flaps or anything like that, because this you can add a large photo to. Alright, so now I want to work on the outside of our flaps here. Okay, so we've done the inside of our flaps. Now we want to work on the outside of our flaps. Okay, so you need to decide which you want for the top and which you want for the bottom. Okay, so you can have your bottom flap be your top, or you can have your top flap be your top here. So that's your choice. I'm going to let the top be mine. Okay, so I'm not going to decorate here because this is my cover. Okay, so I'm not going to mess with it. Okay, so now we need the bottom, the right hand, and the left hand flap here. Alright, so what you're going to need, the bottom piece, you're going to need a piece that is 6 1/4 by 7. On your 6 1/4 inch side, you're going to score it a half. Alright, we're going to fold down and burnish. Okay, I'm going to take my glue. Okay, and I'm going to go to the top here. So I'm just making a flap. Okay. So I'm going to go, like this is the top of my bottom flap. So I'm going to go all the way to the top here. Okay. making sure that you have everything lined up. Alright, when you do, you want to burnish it down. Okay, so now this gives us a flap. Alright, I want to add 2 little strips here, and what I'm doing is I want this to look like suspenders. Okay, so I need 2 pieces that are 1.5 by 5 3/4. Alright, you're going to need 2 of those. I'm not going to add these yet because I need to add my design paper. So I'm going to add design paper, and then I'll add these little strips on like this to make it look like suspenders. But I'm not going to glue them all the way down because I also want it to be a tuck spot. So let me cut a piece of design paper real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've cut my piece of design paper. I have not glued it down yet because whenever I close this up, I need to make this closure, so I need to add a magnet under here. So I'm not going to add this down yet. Alright, but this is what it's going to look like. Okay, you're going to have your design piece, your design paper, and then you're going to take your 2 little flaps. Alright, you're going to add glue here and here, so just the top and just the bottom. Alright, and then you're going to glue those down. Alright, you're going to take your next 1.5 by 5 3/4, add glue here and here, and then glue it down. Okay, so then see here, it's going to look like suspenders, but I'm going to have it open so I can also add a little tuck spot there. So how cute is that? Alright, so that's going to be the bottom flap outside part. Alright, now I'm going to open this up. Okay, and I want to work on the left hand side of my top flap here. Okay, so for the left hand side, what we're going to do is we're going to make it look like the inside of our right hand flap. So I need 2 little pockets here. So I need to add a piece of design paper. Okay, I've already cut it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Okay, so I'm just going to take this piece here, lay it on. Okay, and burnish it down. Okay, now I'm going to add 2 pockets here, and my 2 pockets are going to be 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Alright, on your 4 3/4, because it's 4 and 3 either way, so you're going to score it a half, rotate, score it a half, rotate, score it a half. Alright, we're going to cut off these little corners here. Okay, now I'm going to fold and burnish each of my score lines. Okay, then I'm going to tack down my sides. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing as before. Alright, I'm going to dry fit them though. Okay, and I want my pockets, I want my opening to be on the right hand side here. Okay, so I'm going to dry fit it. Alright, when you have your spacing the way you want it, leave one, pick one up. Okay, I'm going to add my glue to these little 1/2 inch flaps here. That one come up on me. No big deal. Okay, now I'm just going to take it and hold that one down. Alright, when I have it where I want it, I'm going to place it down and burnish. Okay, now I'm going to add the next pocket. Same way, just add your glue to your little 1/2 inch strips here. And again, y'all, if you want to use your corner rounder, your dies, or your punches, you go right ahead. Alright, I'm going to take this one, When I have it where I want it, I'm going to press it down, burnish. Okay, so now I have 2 pockets here. Alright, now I'm going to open it up. Now I'm going to work on the right hand side here. The right hand side, I'm going to do just like I done the inside left. So I'm going to need 2 pieces that are 4 by 8.5. On your 4-inch side, you're going to score it a half. You're going to do that to both of them. Let me move this over. Alright, I'm going to fold down and burnish each one of these. Okay, and I'm going to take it, open it up here, fold that up so I'll have some room here. Alright, I'm going to take one of my flaps, add my glue. Okay, I'm just going to go to the right hand side, to the edge here. Alright, make sure you have it all the way to the edge. Make sure you have it lined up at the top and the bottom so everything is nice and straight. Okay, when you have it where you want it, press it down. Okay, now your next flap you're going to take to the left hand side. To the right hand side, I'm sorry. That one was on the left hand side. This one is going to the right hand side. Alright, so I'm going all the way to the edge of the right. Okay. Have it lined up, top and the bottom. Okay, now I'm just going to burnish it down. Alright, and so that is it, y'all. So let's see what it looks like here. Alright, because we are also going to add our magnets. Okay. Alright, so now this is what we have. Okay, my top flap, going to flip up. Then on it, you're going to have a flap and a pocket. Okay. Your bottom, you're going to have a flap. Okay, I didn't put anything in here. And the reason why I didn't is because I'm going to decorate it and have like a photo mat here. Somewhere on here I'm going to have a photo mat, but I want it to be decorated. But I wanted to add a flap so I can make it look like little suspenders. And again, we're going to have that belly band here. Okay, so this bottom flap is going to flip down. Alright, you're going to have a flap and a pocket. Okay. Then you're going to have your left hand flap. You're going to have 2 pockets here. It's going to flip open. You're going to have 2 flaps. Alright, your right hand side, you're going to have 2 flaps, flip open, and you're going to have 2 pockets here. Alright, and then in the middle, again, I'm just going to leave this plain because I'm going to decorate it. Okay, so that is our album, or folio. Okay, now, let's add our magnets. Let me move this papers over here. Alright, and the magnets that I'm using, y'all, these are just some magnets that I had in my stash. Well, I have in my stash. Alright, so I'm going to open this up. Alright, I'm going to take 2 magnets. I'm going to take my score tape here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a magnet here and here. Alright, and then I'm going to let them catch down here. Better yet, let me add my magnets here so I know they'll catch on that paper. So hold on just a second here. Alright, so I'm going to take these magnets, place them here and here. Alright, and again, this is where my suspenders are going to go. So I don't want them to be exactly where my suspenders are. So I'm going to go right to the edge. Okay, so again, y'all, I'm just kind of eyeballing here. Alright, I'm going to place one magnet there. I'm just going to eyeball here. Place my little magnet there. Okay. Alright, so that's where I want my 2 magnets. Okay, and I'm just going to take and let 2 magnets catch on top. Okay, add my little paper. And y'all, if you know how to add magnets and everything, you go right ahead and skip all this part if you want to. I just want to show, you know, where I place mine because I get a lot of questions on where to put the magnet. So I wanted to show those that do ask. And it is also good for beginners. Okay, Alright, so now, before I press the top part down, alright, I want to make sure this is nice and squared off. See how, you want it to be nice and squared. Same thing here at the top. Alright, you want to make sure that it's nice and squared before you place it down. Alright, and when you have it where you want it, press down. Okay. Alright, that one there didn't catch. So let's just do that again. Okay, that time it caught. Now I'm going to take some score tape, place right over top of these to hold them down. And y'all, I will leave in the description bar below where I pick up my magnets. I know it's a no-no to say where you get them at on YouTube, so I don't want to say it, but I will list it. Okay, now I'm going to take a magnet. Alright, I'm going to open up this top flap. Okay, I want to place the magnet here. You see that? Alright, so I'm just right here in the center. I'm going to take my score tape, press it down, take another magnet, place right on top, take a little piece of tape, place on that magnet. Okay, now I'm just going to close this up, let it catch, add more score tape. Okay, now I'm going to open up the bottom part here. Same thing, I'm going to take a magnet. This time I'm going to put it right here on my pocket, because that way I know it'll be where I want it. Alright, so I'm just going to go right here to the center of the pocket. Okay. Take another magnet, place on top. Alright, close that down. Add my score tape. Alright, so that is our top and our bottom flaps on the inside are done. Outside. Inside. Wherever. Alright, now the bottom part, I need to add a magnet here. So now this album, y'all, or this folio is going to take a good amount of magnets. So if you have a different way that you want to use, a different closure that you want to use, you go right ahead. Okay? But this is just the way, I have a good amount of magnets because I like to buy mine in bulk, kind of. So I don't mind using a lot of magnets. Alright, so that's just going to close down here. Okay. The same thing with score tape, y'all. I get my score tape the same place that I get my magnets. The just plain old no name score tape. Alright, so I'm going to flip that down. This one has a magnet. Alright, now I need to place magnets in here. Okay, so this one I'm going to place a magnet. Alright, I need to figure out which one I want on top, right or left. Alright. And I'm going to place 2 magnets on this one because it is so large. Okay, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to place a magnet here and here. And I'm going to place them pretty close to the edges there. Not too close, but they're going to fall off anyway. But you will see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to place one here. And place one here. Okay. And add my tape, my little bitty tape. Okay. Peel the backing off. I'm going to hold this down. Add these. See, these are going to be close to the edge as well. Alright, but when you add your design paper, everything is going to be fine. And the paper that I'm using, y'all, is 110 pound. And I picked this up at Walmart. I'm going to show y'all what this is. Alright, so this is what it is. It is Georgia Pacific Premium Cardstock paper. And it is 110 pounds, and it is 92 bright. 8.5 by 11. Alright, so this is the cardstock that I'm using. Normally, you know, I like to use my paper from Recollections, but being this is a folio, I wanted this to be kind of sturdy. So I'm going to add my magnets here the same way. And like I said, y'all, you are more than welcome to fast forward all this. Okay. I'm just going to add my magnets here. Okay. And I know this is quiet time. I get a little quiet whenever I start doing my magnets and stuff like this, because there's not really much to talk about, you know, because I'm showing you the same thing over and over. But I want to show you. Okay. Let me move this one right here down a little bit. This one needs to be moved. So that means I need to move this one. Okay. I don't know why I did that part. Needed to add a larger piece there. Okay. Let me take this one, add it here, then add a smaller piece. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna get it. There we go. Now it's not too close to the edge. Okay, now that is all of our magnets. So you see here, you know, I did use a good amount of magnets here, but everything worked out nice and neat. Okay, this one I feel like I need another type of closure here or something, because even though it does have the magnets, it's still a little loose. See how loose that is? So I may add another type of little closure or something here. Alright, so that is our little folio, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed this folio. And again, the paper collection that I used is by Echo Park. It is called Bundle of Joy. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I want to thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.